And welcome back, Children of the Night, to another episode of the Infernal Archive. On this one, we are doing another contemporary review. We're going to watch Bugonia.
Yes. Oscars around the corner, we should mention. This is a film nominated for something. I don't know. But
Best Picture, maybe? Best Screenplay,
there's a couple.
maybe?
There's a couple horror-y things in the running for the Academy Awards this year, so we figured.
Which is pretty nuts.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, not a thing that happens ever. Like,
no.
What is it? Silent Slams was the one big winner, and all history was a big horror winner.
So we figured we better watch them and give our thoughts with awards right around the corner.
Mm-hmm. I don't know too much about Bugonia. I've seen the trailer. Looks intriguing. Saw Yorgos Lanthimos. Mm-hmm. Saw his last film, Poor Things. I really enjoyed Poor Things. I had some issues with it. Some of the practical stuff I thought was too much, and it took away from the film. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good movie. Andrew, would you mind reading to us from the Wikipedia Scroll of Doom?
Yes. Bugonia is a 2025 black comedy thriller film directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and written by Will Tracy, an English-language remake of the 2003 South Korean film Save the Green Planet by Jang Joon-hwan.
Does it have an exclamation mark?
It does. The film follows two conspiracy-obsessed young men who kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth.
So, it's Yorgos Lanthimos, and if you're familiar with his film repertoire at all, he doesn't do not weird stuff. So,
what do you put the over/under on she actually turns out to be an alien the whole time?
1,000%. I'm actually, in my head, if Yorgos Lanthimos is at all self-aware, he will know that we know that.
He'll know that we know, and then flip it. I hope that's what happens, because
it would be nice.
Because that's one of my biggest problems with his other film, The Lobster, where it's like, it's called The Lobster. People get turned into fucking lobsters if they don't find a mate or whatever the fuck. And the main character talks about how he likes lobsters at the beginning. So you watch the whole film knowing...
Well, they get to choose what...
Yes, they get to choose.
Yeah.
And so you know at the beginning, it's like, oh, this guy's going to get turned into a fucking lobster.
I actually don't think he does turn into a lobster at the end.
I think...
I'm trying to remember. I remember the end of The Lobster. No, it ends with him he's gonna blind himself with a fork for some reason.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the bathroom, he's staring at himself, and he's about to blind himself, but I can't for the life of me. It's because he meets a girl at the fucking thing.
Yes.
And then he falls in love with the girl, and the girl becomes blinded for some reason, and then...
Oh, because there's a weird thing about that.
In solidarity with her...
Right, there is a shot of the lobster at the end, but I don't know if it's...
I don't think there is. Doesn't it cut to black?
I thought there was... Maybe it's at the beginning?
I might be misremembering, too. I remember the fucking him sitting there with the fork. And they imply that he does blind himself for her for some fucking reason.
Whatever. I remember the ending being very telegraphed. Whatever it was very like, this is predictable.
I didn't like The Lobster. I have a friend, Thomas. He loves that fucking movie. I didn't like that movie because I couldn't buy into the world. It was too... I like quirky, but it was too quirky. It was quirky at the detriment to me of the world building and the believability of the movie. And so I could never buy. And like Yorgos Lanthimos stuff, to me, a lot of the time it gets into that realm where it's like, this is too quirky and it's to the detriment, and you're resisting against me and my what's it called?
Suspension of disbelief.
My suspension, exactly. Like, yeah. And I don't really know why a filmmaker do it's kind of what people complain about with fucking like Isle of Dogs, bloody Wes Anderson. They similar thing.
I have a similar issue.
But he's so consistent. His movies are so consistent, at least from beginning till end, that it's like you'll know in the first 2 minutes if you can sustain your. Whereas Yorgos Lanthimos will have movies that for a large portion are like pretty realistic, but then he'll just interject these insanely fantastical things. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyways, going on too long about Yorgos Lanthimos' other movies and not Bugonia. We're gonna go watch Bugonia, and we will give you our thoughts when we're back.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
And Children of the Night, we're back. We just finished watching Bugonia, starring Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons.
Meth
Damon. Looking particularly methy in this movie. He lost a lot of weight. Man, when I saw him in... To be fair, I think he lost weight when he was in Civil War. But what was that movie? Fucking the Breaking Bad movie, El Camino. He was
heavier.
Yeah. good for him. He got fit. Good for him. He found a routine that works for him. I'm proud of you, Jesse Plemons. Andrew, what did you think of Bugonia?
Overall, I think I liked it. The performances were excellent. They hired an actor who had autism to play the autistic cousin in this film, and he kind of stole some scenes for me for sure.
Very endearing, very
endearing,
pulls at your heartstrings.
Yeah, and I think he did a great job, and that was cool. Just as like a totally unknown actor to be in scenes with like Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons and be able to, not only do well but kind of like steal some attention and bring out those emotions. So that was really cool. Cool to see that. Compelling plot for sure. Overall, it lost me in the last 20 minutes.
I don't know if it lost me.
Not lost me is the wrong word, but it I was disappointed with the outcome. Like the build-up was so interesting, and I was all in and like intrigued right up until that last like 15-20 minutes, and then when like it's whatever. This isn't a fucking spoiler. Everyone who's like she's a fucking alien, and so that's gonna happen. We telegraphed it. Like we knew that was gonna be a thing, and then what they ultimately decide to do with that twist or revelation was just so anticlimactic to me.
And once again, we talked a little bit about Yorgos Lanthimos' tendency to be quirky at the detriment of his films. And this is another example of that where it's like
it was. Yeah.
The ending. As far as its narrative relevance, it's fine. It's relevant to the narrative. It works. It's fine. It's not like it fucks anything up. But the way that it's implemented was just like, I just don't fucking buy it, man.
Yeah.
Like the one thing, a quick example is like, these fucking aliens, they look identical. They're like Kryptonian aliens. They look identical to human beings. Actually, we're based on them, which is why we look like them. They don't look like us. But anyways, they wear these stupid fucking suits that are big, puffy, fucking
they look like knit, like a knit.
Yeah, but it's like that the music video, the famous Kanye West. You're such a fucking that music video where he's in the big fucking thing.
That's what they look like. 100%.
It's similar. Like their range of movement is slightly better than those.
They kind of like waddle around. And
I don't buy that a biological creature that, for all intents and purposes, is the same as us, would willingly wear a thing that makes you so immobile. It's the type of world building where I'm like, I don't buy it. Just nobody would willingly wear this thing.
It was just it was a thing that he clearly, the choice was, I want to make them look weird and different and seem quirky. And it just, we were talking about suspension of disbelief, really had me kind of like questioning everything after that. I feel like if he played that a little bit more straight, that maybe the ending would have landed differently.
Well, definitely would have.
Because you couldn't take them seriously when they're these fucking giant, they look like a fucking, like a homemade knit toque, but a giant thing around there.
Very
around
Teletubby-esque
Teletubby
energy,
and like... It was so hard to take anything seriously, and then the language they spoke also, again, maybe because the stupid fucking costume design, but it felt stupid and like, I don't know, I just didn't do it for me. The ending didn't do it for me.
And I'll say, like, it reminded me kind of like in Poor Things, where I really enjoyed Poor Things, but once again, there are these like little things in Poor Things that are these quirky interjections where it's like it doesn't ruin the narrative of the film, and it's such a small part of the film that it doesn't affect really, to me, the overall quality. If it does affect the quality, it's like it brings it down by like 4 or 5%, like nothing that's like too major. But it's like in Poor Things, it was like there's zeppelins in this world, and he's using miniatures that don't look particularly realistic for some of the wide shots, and some of the CGI is blended in a way that like they're calling attention to it so that you're like, I can tell that this is an effect, and it's just like, so you're like, you're actively taking me out of the world of your film and like drawing attention to the filmmaking of it. And it's like, like I said, it's not enough of the movie that it affects really my opinion of the picture as a whole. But like, it's just like, why? Like, why do we? Yeah. Why are we? It feels like quirkiness for the sake of quirkiness rather than trying to. It feels like detrimental, I guess is the word. It feels like it's actively detrimental towards the world of the film, and I don't really understand that. But I'll say this, like, to me, that's really my only criticism of Bugonia. Like,
Agreed.
Say the ending kind of being too quirky and sort of bringing you out of it. That's the big criticism. Everything up until that, to me, is really fucking good. Like,
Excellent. I would say.
You brought up the performances are really good. One thing I wanted to bring out, and I had this thought while watching the movie because it's similar. It has a similar sort of setup, I guess. The film 10 Cloverfield Lane
Yes.
also has to do with a person kidnapping somebody, keeping them in a that one's a much deeper basement, but in a basement, similar sort of setup. I'll say this: I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was very brilliant, largely due to the performance of John Goodman. But this movie actually, to me, Bugonia, did the captive horror thing better to me than 10 Cloverfield Lane.
That scene where they're fucking electrocuting her or whatever was awful.
Like,
horrible.
gut sickening. And it's like you see in other movies where they're if they do electroshock therapy in another movie where it's like they're doing the electroshock therapy, but usually it's like they'll do it for 5-10 seconds in a movie and you're like, oh, that's so terrible. This movie, it's like
he starts at one and then like slowly
he keeps it on
and like slowly cranks up the voltage,
and you just hear her like,
and you hear her like suffering, and then the cousin's also there like, stop it, what are you doing, and he's
for
just
minutes.
like, yeah,
and like Emma Stone clearly at a stage with the electricity, it goes out of her mind. Like she's not there anymore, but her body is just making these guttural pain sounds, and it's like, this is fucked. Like, this is awful to watch. And Jesse Plemons also is like, I don't want to be doing this.
Dissociating a little
bit.
bit.
Oh god, very uncomfortable. And that to me is like the horror of this. Like, if two people kidnap you and are able to constrain you, that is awful. Like in 10 Cloverfield Lane, you're like, is it really that bad? Like, yeah, they're chained up, but it's like he feeds them, he's nice to them. Like, it's like, it's not great, but it's like, yeah, I don't know if I felt there's scenes, right, where you feel some fear, but in Bugonia, I'm like, I would rather be anywhere fucking else than in that fucking basement with those two, with those chemically castrated.
When they like you brought it up before we started filming this section, but you're like, that scene was. Maybe not to everyone, but to both of us had that same visceral gut reaction of like, this is so fucked up that he's making his cousin who's disabled like chemically castrate himself. Yeah, and like, it was just chilling.
It's such good world building. And it's a weird thing to say, but I've said this before because like sometimes like if you enjoy horror films, people's reaction is like, you'll get two reactions sometimes where people are like, oh, you're one of those fuckers who doesn't get scared, and it's like, no, I get very scared, and I like being scared. And then you have to explain, it's like, why do you like being scared? And it's like, well, I like that a film can elicit such a powerful emotion out of me. I like being able to engage with movies like that. And similarly, it's a different type of horror, but I think good movies that do this, other movies that do this, Hereditary and the other fucking movie, Midsummer. And there's other examples, but there's a horror that makes you like sick to your stomach.
The revulsion horror.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. And this movie uses it in great effect at the very beginning. Like you said, it's like there's a scene when Jesse Plemons and his cousin, they're sitting at a fire and they're talking, and it's before they've kidnapped Emma Stone's character, and they're just going over like, here's the plan, whatever. And then Jesse Plemons just sort of casually says like, we need to chemically castrate ourselves. Because like she's a woman and she's gonna try to use her feminine wiles on us to convince us to let her go.
So we need to be operating at peak efficiency.
Yeah, so we need to start doing this. And he says it with such clinical coldness, and it's like what he says, like, yeah, I guess if you want to be the most effective kidnapper, he's fucking right. But God, is that so inhuman? It's like, it's
the whole thing of like the stakes for them are, we are saving the fucking world by doing this. So
100%. If
we have to chemically castrate ourselves, so be it.
The ultimate sacrifice. Yeah.
This is like what we need to do to save the world in their eyes.
So there was that scene that I thought. So those two scenes, the electrocuting scene, that scene, and then there's one other scene that it's a small thing, but I was like, God, it's so scary. There's a scene when they become convinced that Emma Stone, actually it's right after the electrocution scene, when they become convinced that Emma Stone, she's not just a peon alien, she's like a royal. She's part of the royal
family. Yeah.
So they're like, oh my goodness, Your Majesty, like we're so sorry that we've been treating you like this peon.
I wish to apologize profusely. I did not realize, Your Majesty.
What?
So then they allow her to sit at the dinner table. She's still tied down, but they allow her to like wear a dress and like sit at the table with them, and they're like feeding her spaghetti or whatever. And then there's this big uncomfortable conversation between her and Jesse Plemons. And or is it before this? I can't remember. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But there's a scene when Emma Stone is talking to Jesse Plemons, and she gets a rise out of him, and he grabs a fucking chair. And he goes to fucking swing and smash it into her, and he stops just before he fucking hits her. But the way they shoot it, it seems like he's gonna fucking hit her, and he stops, and you're like, oh god! It just reminds you immediately that she's helpless. Like if he wanted to, he could just brutally eviscerate her in seconds, at any time. And it, once again, to me, it was just like a brilliant, poignant moment of horror where I'm like, oh, I would rather be anywhere else than in the situation that Emma Stone is in right now. That's the thing. The movie doesn't do. Like, it's not jump scares, it's not that type of horror, but it is like this
tension, atmosphere, tension
of uncomfortability. And
there's like the moment where she finds like the secret room in the basement where it's like, oh fuck, this is messed up, and there's some intense gore. I don't want to give too much away or spoil anything, but like there's a couple brutal gore scenes that are very well done. And backtracking a little bit, I also have to call out one of my favorite stand-up comedians is in this film. And I thought he did a great job in the role that he was in. It was just
I love
it was
they
funny.
never tell you what he did.
That
was such a funny little. It's like,
did he molest him? Like what happened? Like is he saying like I'm sorry I molested you?
Stavros, that's his
Stavros Halkias.
Stavros.
And that's Greek filmmaker. Famous Greek guy. I get why like. He can act though. Good. He can act.
Yeah, he was really good.
I would legitimately like to see more acting from him.
It was that's the thing. The movie's also quite funny, which is worth bringing up. Like it really did this brilliant job of bouncing between comedy and horror and just being intriguing and world building. And to me, it's actually quite a brilliant movie. And then the ending just kind of sort of lets it down, and it keeps it from being this like masterpiece or whatever. But yeah, like Stavros in the movie, he plays this police officer. And in one scene, he pulls Jesse Plemons over, and then he's talking, and then he just says, like, man, he hints, he's like, I'm so sorry about, like, what I did to you as a kid.
I mainly just wanted to check up on you, man. I know the last thing you want is for your fucked up babysitter from 20 years ago stopping by, feeling guilty about, whatever went down.
And Jesse Plemons never reacts really strongly towards it. He's just like, okay, whatever. He ignores
thanks,
him.
Man.
He's like, yeah, okay, it's fine. And then it comes up a few times where Stavros keeps saying, like, I'm so sorry for what I did to you when you were a kid. And they never tell you what he did. And it's just like, what the fuck? Did you hit this kid?
Because he was his babysitter, I guess,
yeah,
is
he was
the
his babysitter.
Thing. And so you're like, my only other thought was like maybe kind of going along with it because his mom was a drug addict.
Yes.
Maybe going along with that, like maybe he's more apologizing for like, I didn't speak up and say anything. And maybe that's why the apology is very vague, where it's like he didn't do anything specifically, but it's like, I'm sorry I didn't like help you more when I was an adult, a trusted adult, and I knew what was going on, and I didn't do or say anything. Maybe like that was my only other like
100%. But I think
but it was also like could be like, did you fucking like did you like beat him up? Did you like what did you do?
Yeah, I think them not telling us what they did was it was this weird combination of like the whole adage of showing not telling, but it's like it is dialogue in the film, but him not revealing what he did, it does so much for like Jesse Plemons' character, his character, and makes him so much more interesting. It's such a simple thing to just like not to like I had a bad interaction with you as a kid, and I'm not going to tell the audience what that bad interaction was, but it just immediately makes you so, and you don't ever need to know. I never was like, I need to know what happened, because it's not an essential plot point. And it's sort of an aside, but it just like, yeah, once again, like to bring up the world building, I think that's one thing this movie does really, really well is world building. It's such a small movie, like there's not a ton of location until the ending where it's like, I'm like, they blew all the budget on this movie filming these scenes at the end with all like That was crazy to me.
corporate
It's like,
office and
well, no, the scenes of the I don't want to give too much away. The people at the end.
yeah. That
There's
too.
so many of them.
Yeah,
that I'm like,
yeah.
you had to go with a camera and a crew to film every single one of these little
All
what?
the little vignettes at the end.
Yeah,
were
it was
definitely-
crazy to me. I'm like,
yeah.
that would have cost hundreds of
and
thousands of dollars. Probably.
and it just sucks that it fell so flat for me too, because like I feel like there's things that could have been changed a little bit to make it more impactful, or to scrap that ending and do something that would have landed maybe, but it just landed a little flat for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like we said, I think our chief criticism is just like the ending didn't live up to the hype. Yeah, it's sad because it's just like Yorgos Lanthimos just did the thing that you know he's gonna do. Like if you're familiar with him at all as a filmmaker,
There's nothing surprising. There's nothing innovative really. Like,
you would telegraph it. Like I think there is a world where if you're a person who doesn't know his film, what films he's made, and you just go into this movie blind and you just saw the trailer, let's say,
yeah, it would be like almost like a Sixth Sense level twist theoretically if you went fully blind, don't know who Yorgos Lanthimos is.
It could be. It would have the potential.
Yeah,
to-
if you were
to
like had
be
no
like that.
idea.
So I'll say that like maybe we're not like the maybe they should have kept Yorgos Lanthimos' name off this movie because then it might have been a little more effective in the ending. But yeah, unfortunately, quirkiness has become his Achilles heel. Like he's expected to do the quirky thing.
Yeah.
So now you just know it's like fucking. M. Night Shyamalan, you know he loves twists, so like you're like, I know there's gonna be a twist in this movie, and then because you know there's gonna be a twist, it makes the twists less compelling when they happen, even if you might not be able to predict it.
It can, yeah.
But I like inevitably the fact that you know there's gonna be a twist kind of sucks. Like it's like you wish you could go in not knowing that or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's so true. I think we said we'd give it a 10.5, which I think it was still an excellent film, and I'm really glad that it is nominated at the Academy Awards. I think that's cool. I think giving it even just that nod of nomination I think that's a cool thing, and it's not your typical Oscar film for sure. And seeing something like that in the Academy Awards is a cool thing.
If it won Best Picture, I'd be happy. Just because like I'm happy enough with the film overall. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but I'm happy with it overall enough. I think it's creative enough.
That's the thing. It is creative.
Yeah.
You can't. Just because a couple of the decisions didn't work for me, I wouldn't take away the fact that it was creative in its own way.
And Jesse Plemons needs to be more exalted.
I agrry.
So like,
He's
he needs that
incredible.
project where finally he gets the due that he is owed. 'Cause he is such a good actor. I like you said, 10.5. Any final thoughts?
No, I think it's worth checking out, especially if you're going to follow the Academy Awards. Don't sleep on watching it because it's always a little more interesting if you're going to watch the awards if you have seen some of the films, and this is one I wouldn't skip because it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely worth watching, I think. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Infernal Archive, and we will catch you next time.